Hi guys, welcome to today's album review. Today we are going to be reviewing Sido with his album Ich und keine Maske, which I'm guessing probably means like me and without my mask. So just before we go into this, Brett, Sido, we've come across this guy before when we listened to the Genetic album. So is he part of Genetic, or is he like just part of that album? Do you remember?
I believe he's part of Genetic. There's the two of them,
Right.
and interesting enough, from the pictures I've seen, images I've seen of them, they do wear masks. So, yeah, interesting take to see his stuff away from the mask, the individual stuff.
I'll put the comment or the request down below. I haven't looked at this for a while, but I remember the reason this was requested is because the person said something along the lines of, he thinks we're going to like this because it's maybe he was referring to me specifically, I don't know, because it has rap with singing, you know, based on the Cool Savas album, for example, which I praised heavily. So that's kind of got my expectation levels quite high, which is always a bit of a worry because it may disappoint. So yeah, I'm hoping it's going to be, as this guy said in the comment who requested it, that it's going to be that kind of style, like Cool Savas, that sort of thing, where you've got the rap and like the main sort of chorus singing. So quite looking forward to it in that sense. So let me just quickly share the screen. Sido's Wikipedia page is here. His real name is Paul.
His real name's what?
Paul. Can you see it on the screen?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Paul.
Yeah, okay.
So he interprets his artist name as super intelligent drug victim.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so he uses provocative and aggressive lyrics. Since 2005, he no longer wears the mask. It talks about that his style is German hip hop. He's 40 years old. We won't go through the whole thing, but what we'll do is now I'll show you the Spotify, the album on Spotify. 1 second. Sec here. Okay. 1 sec, sorry. Slight delay. Okay, can you see the screen?
Yeah.
So it's 14 tracks, 44 minutes, 44 seconds. And if we quickly have a look through the songs, track number 7 interests me for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
We have Cool Savas appearing. Luciano kind of rings a bell. You may have come across him before. So yeah, that's the album, released in 2019. So Brett, you looking forward to it?
Well, yeah. So, because obviously, I remember when we did Genetic, I actually quite liked it. I think one of the things I liked was that the lyrics and songs weren't that provocative at all. It was actually quite deep meaning and lovely to it. But now you're saying probably his new stuff, it's not going to be like that. So, however, I said if it's more pop, kind of not really rap, there's got some potential there. So again, probably not as high expectations as yourself, Lee. So give me credit, but like I said, I'll base it on the fact that I really enjoy sort of Genetic stuff. So let's see what he can bring.
Okay, so we're gonna head off and listen to the album, and once we've done that, well, say in a few seconds, we'll be back with you, having already listened to the album, probably with a different sort of hairstyle and that kind of thing. So yeah, we will see you guys in a few seconds. So we've now listened to the album, and Brett is kindly going to go ahead first and tell us what he thought of it.
Thank you very much, Lee. Right, so I remember last time from Genetic, when we listened to that, that I was quite impressed with that. I quite enjoyed that, purely because it didn't feel as maybe like dark as stuff like Kollega. Really enjoyed sort of the poetic elements, the wording, deep meaning and stuff. And I'll be honest, I was a little worried after, I think we said just before, from past Lee and Brett, or you past Lee, saying that there could have been a lot of controversy with it, and or maybe him on his own is going to be a lot darker. Yes, there were tiny bits of that, but really overall there wasn't. So as a result, I really enjoyed this album. It's that kind. I know I've talked about different kinds of rap, where I thought maybe rap with dance music and rap with rock music would be my style, but rap also, because this almost has a poppy feel to it. Some of the songs, there's more rap, but I think a more enjoyable rap. And I kind of feel, I hope that maybe it's also now that you probably like Lee as well. I put the notes next to a couple of songs, thinking, oh, you know what, Lee will probably. I feel like Lee might have liked this one here. Again, it'll probably be a lot better and easier as we go through a lot of the songs. But yeah, like I said, it just had a really sort of, not for me, a nice tempo. It wasn't too fast. It was probably more on the slower side of things. But even without knowing and understanding the lyrics, just by listening to the music side of things, I enjoyed it. I could sit down and listen to it. It felt very easy listenable music in those regards. And then once I looked into the lyrics and meaning, I said it's a lot of sort of poetic, deep meaning stuff. And yeah, overall, actually, a real good feel good. Even there's a lot of sad elements and not so nice elements. Overall, by the end of it, I did have a really good sort of feeling about it all.
Okay, glad you enjoyed it. So yeah, for me, I would say this is definitely my style of rap. So I think, Brett, you kind of caught on to that. You know, you were saying certain songs I would have liked. And yeah, really enjoyed elements of this. Maybe it wasn't exactly what I was expecting. Because I think based on that Cool Savas album, there was the like kind of mainly women singing, and then with like rapping by Cool Savas. And I think that was why the guy recommended it based on that after what I said about it. So I was kind of expecting maybe the same thing, but that wasn't the case in this album. But despite that, this was just as good. Yeah, it definitely had sort of pop elements to it. There was some variation, I thought, in the songs. Some songs were certainly kind of more rappy than others. Some had a more kind of pop feel to them. So there was, yeah, quite a bit of variation, and certainly some songs that I preferred more than others. But overall, yeah, this is definitely my sort of rap. I mean, like I've always kind of been kind of like rap music, but not the kind of more hardcore stuff that we've listened to quite a lot on this channel. So this kind of thing, where it's kind of more poppy as well in parts, got more singy parts. Yeah, this is definitely my cup of tea. So thanks for the request. So let's go through the songs then. So the first one was V Papa. I thought this was like very clearly rapped. So if you speak German, of course, you'd understand like this kind of like word for word, unlike some other times when you listen to rap, it's quite difficult to actually take it all in. Quite simple. The background music was quite relaxing. Kind of feels like an intro, but not sure what's coming next. So kind of, I'm not comparing this to anything else. Obviously, it's the first track. So I'm not like, I don't know if it kind of was an intro supposed to be, because first track, but it kind of felt like it could have been like an intro, if that makes sense. And in terms of the meaning,
is it about his kid, his child? You know, that this guy Sido's a rapper. Sorry, his father. So yeah, you know, decent enough start, I suppose.
Yeah, very much so. Everything you said there, really, I think key points. And yeah, it's hard to explain that. It could have been an introduction track. I think I've even put down a lyric here. I don't think I'm a legend. Legend contains the end in it. It sounds like it's the end. First of this is my 8th album. More for me to come. So kind of also talking about the album itself in there. And like I said, it's sort of a really nice sort of tempo to this. And even because I listened to it a fair bit before I look into the lyrics and stuff, even by listening to it, I could just sense, you could just feel it felt important, or felt there was a deep meaning to it. I think that's without even before looking. And yeah, so I think he also later on talks about whether it's his kid or something else, or whether he's talking to himself as far or about his dad. So I'm not really sure on that there, but yeah, a really good opening song. Really liked it.
Next one was Junge von der Straße. Does that mean, I'm guessing here, like youth on the streets? Nice. So sort of a nice woman with a singing start. But okay, this is really my thing. But then I didn't really enjoy the rapping as much. Felt quite relaxed. And then I was kind of wondering, where's the woman singer gone? She started off, and then I didn't really hear her again. And I have to say, it was a bit disappointing, this one in the end. Kind of had a good start, but kind of let me down, I thought. I guess the meaning is about life on the street. And I just wanted to kind of say here in brackets, even though it's about life on the street, it wasn't particularly drug, violence heavy, which I liked. That's one thing I didn't mention in the introduction when we were talking there. The lyrics here I liked generally throughout the album. You know, it wasn't like I just said there, basically, it wasn't sort of real drug, violence heavy and about, you know, just, it wasn't crude lyrics basically. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's what I said as well. So yeah, I totally agree again with everything that you said there. The point with the woman singing the start, really nice, but didn't appear again. I just said, oh, it'd be nice if she appeared back, even at the end maybe, but she didn't. Yeah, really good sort of lyrics and stuff. Again, I'm sort of enjoying the tempo, and I said as a song, just listening about the lyrics, I sort of quite enjoyed it. And yeah, also for his, you know, sort of, you know, being on the streets, but not like in the sense of being homeless. And I said that wasn't necessarily talking about. There was a little bit of, but not in the same way. Just, you know, you have to be tough, and it's hard when you just and be on the street and stuff. So yeah, again, a really good sort of a song for this particular album. It just fits in really well. I was just wondering, yeah, whether this was actually him speaking about more about actually himself and his experience, or people's.
Yeah, probably.
I got the feeling it probably is sort of his own experience from the way he gets the lyrics, but I could be wrong. But either way, it's still a good song for the album.
Next up we had Melatonin. So I quite like the music that's going on in the background. Sounds familiar. And I kind of got it straight away, and I listened to that song that I thought it was that it sounded from, so which was Benny Blanco, East Side. Remember that one? It's a song that I really liked. Like one of my favorite songs. Came out a few years ago, and it sounded so similar to that. Not the actual kind of the actual song itself, the lyrics, but the actual part of the music they were using from it. Wasn't overly keen on the singer and his kind of alien style of voice. But overall, the song isn't bad, and I thought it had a quite laid-back feel. And the sort of what I'm calling the Benny Blanco music made this song, you know, made it into a decent song. And I guess in terms of meaning, about feeling depressed.
Yeah, so I actually quite like the alien voice or sound effects, synth voice, and that's all my style as well. And again, we've still got the same sort of tempo, really good feel. And again, you can feel it being meaningful and listenable at the same time. So yeah, I really quite like this one. So yeah, melatonin, I did research, is actually a sleeping pill. So this is actually about drugs, Lee, in terms of using sleeping pills. So yeah, referring to me, might have had if you suffer from insomnia. So again, I think that link of like being depressed and not being able to sleep and having to take these drugs to sort of help with that from there. I also liked it because it also mentions Lidl. Don't get many songs that mention Lidl in them. Again, it just carries on that same sort of feel throughout we've had so far, really.
Okay. Next one was 2002. Again, feels quite chilled because of the background music. I've said that quite a lot. It sort of had, this whole album had a kind of sort of chilled feel to it. Has a singy chorus, which is always a good thing. Overall, it's not bad, and like kind of singy rap as well. So yeah, it wasn't a bad one, this. And I guess it's about kind of how life used to be difficult for him. So kind of talking about like fare dodging and stuff on transport, on the trains and stuff. And now look at how successful I am. But again, not in a crude way, not like, oh, look, I'm fucking all these women. And it was just, you know, just about life, I guess.
Yeah, very much. I think talking about life as, you know, better or easier when you're younger and stuff. We don't really, maybe you have troubles when younger, but actually when you realise actually they mean nothing really and life can be tough. Again, you still get this sort of slow tempo to it, but it felt like more sort of production level to it and felt more like it could have been with pop song. Also had a bit of fast rapping in there as well. And it's interesting because normally I think, maybe because if I didn't like this album, I'd probably say there's not much variation, it's all quite the same. But I think because we've got these different artists and different rappers that come into as well, that's how it makes it feel that little bit different to it as well. So again, I feel it's again a really good different sort of kind of song for the album. I just put one of the lyrics here. It says about referring to his mum crying because then she gives him ice cream and she doesn't give a shit. But I thought it's more trying to say obviously that she's willing to give up her stuff to make her son sort of happy for him. So yeah, again, these really good lyrics, deep meaning, and as you said before, not crude, not rude, not dangerous, not violence and stuff. So yeah, good stuff.
Next one was Leben for dem Todd. So again, that's what nice music going on in the background. I thought the rap was flowing well, a singy chorus, and just really liking the music in general, you know, especially like the sound of the music. So quite a good one, this, I'd say. And I guess in terms of the meaning, sort of let's live and enjoy life instead of just doing a boring 9-to-5 job kind of thing, you know, get out there and make the most of life, I suppose.
Yeah, so sort of translated title Life Before the Death. But because Todd was also written in a capital letter, I didn't know if it was referring to a person's name. So if it was saying Life Before Todd as well, but I think it's meant to be death without the capital T. And for such a sad, deep, meaningful song, it kind of had a sort of feel-good vibe tune to it, which I felt quite unusual. So when I was listening to it, I thought it wasn't going to be what it was about. So we got that up tempo a little bit. There was a bit where there was a trumpet playing. Really enjoyed that. And it just felt like a really good sort of listenable song. So I put a little smiley face and actually felt good after listening to it, even though. And I suppose you could look at the Ben means actually it's enjoy life, treat life better before it's all over. So maybe it should be played in a sort of up tempo way, really.
Okay. Next one was Beste Zeit. I'm having it. I think that might mean best time. So more rap. This is straight away you could tell this is a lot more rappy than the previous song that we just listened to. This was for me more traditional rap with a rappy chorus rather than a kind of singy sort of song chorus. Instrumental was quite low key and monotonous. Nothing wrong with it, but it just wasn't my favorite. In terms of the meaning, I suppose it's about kind of let's travel and get out of cold Berlin.
Yeah, so I thought, yeah, this is very, very rappable, but yet also quite listenable, quite likable as well. It felt to me like quite late 90s, early noughties kind of rap they would have had here in the UK, and yeah, the title translates as best time. And yeah, again, wasn't probably my favourite on the album, but again, enjoyed what it's all about. So again, I wrote the lyrics here. So I have 100k in the Louis, which I think is referring to a Louis Vuitton bag. Santori, and then tomorrow Hawaii. Go abroad, raise your glasses, throw away the clocks, because today's over before time begins. So effectively saying, yeah, he's now made it, and even though he's made it, it's enjoy it as well, and enjoy life. A bit similar to the song previous. Forget about time, just nothing, just enjoy. Get all over the world. Hawaii, Santori, and I think I mentioned loads of other places as well.
Yeah. Okay, next one was High, featuring my man Cool Savas. So high expectations for this one, and I have to say, it didn't really live up to those expectations for me. There was a woman singing like high, 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 that part there, but the overall song for me, yeah, it just wasn't amazing. It was all right, but nothing special. And I just kind of try to understand the lyrics here. When it says, like, when they were talking about being high, I couldn't understand if it was because of drugs or just because of, like, just kind of getting a buzz from what they were doing, kind of thing. Do you see what I mean? So Brett, maybe you can give your view on that.
Yeah, so my thoughts into it was that it was, and what I liked about it, I think the song itself wasn't that memorable, that good, but I think it was more about the lyrics. And effectively, what I'm saying is actually how they get high is actually for the little things and not the drug related things. So waking up in the morning, having a good breakfast, writing good lyrics, writing good rhymes. The way I write lyrics and the way I write rhymes gets me high. So talking about other things, and that's what gets them high. And then you have Cool Savage comes in and he goes a little bit darker, so he talks a little bit about more the darker side of things, but then brings it back about what has come to and what you experience. This life makes me high. So talk about just other experiences in life. So again, the song was okay, but what I enjoyed more about the album, and a shame I can't understand German as well. It's definitely more about these lyrics as well, which I've really started to enjoy.
Next one was Jedis Gerheimnis. This one had a, oh no, sorry, I missed one out. Next one was Energy, or Energy. Had a strange rap voice. Now this one was featuring Luciano. Strange rap voice, and then like it sounded like Snoop Dogg. Overall, this song was like an interesting sound and theme going on, but I couldn't quite sort of put my finger on it, what the kind of theme was. I couldn't quite imagine it, but there's something quite unusual about it. Maybe that, like, the style of rap, the way they were rapping was quite interesting. I wouldn't say I particularly enjoyed it. This was more, I suppose, maybe one of the more kind of rappy tracks on the album, rather than the more kind of like songy pop kind of songs. But it was still interesting nonetheless, and I couldn't really get much understanding from the lyrics. It didn't seem to have a great meaning for me.
Yeah, again, I sort of put the same thing here. So I put this as quite similar to Best Time. It sort of has that sort of early naughty sort of rap, and this feels like more, so I say you almost got like the more poppy production type songs, and then the more sort of trying to be real rap side of things. This definitely had that feel to it. And again, just put a point about when you have the different artists that comes into it, gives the song sort of a different feel to it. So that's where we get sort of the variation from it. I didn't get much from the lyrics on this one, but the Spice when the other artists came in, and it felt a bit darker, and it felt it could be a bit more. And it was still, like I've been playing for a lot of songs, very listenable, and I could still sit there and listen to it and not be put off by it, even though not really understanding the lyrics, and even though it had this sort of darker feel to it.
Okay, next up we had Jedis Gerheimnis. This one was quite musicy rather than rappy. It was like some kind of baby voice as well in the background occasionally that's going on. I really enjoyed this song. Nice song, and it was more like a song rather than rap. So for me, this is one of the best songs on the album. And what was it about? About lots of questions. Why are you asking me all these questions? Questions about this, questions about that. But yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah, I also really like this one, and this is where I put a little note. I wonder if Lee actually likes this one. They say it has that sort of whole song. But I've also put the artist Eminem here. Only not his early stuff, more when he was doing more sort of deep meaning stuff as well. And that's what I felt from this here. And I said it was really, really good. And again, it's really good when you have the lyrics as well, sort of put some poem deep meaning. And again, I was trying to work out if it was actually him more referring to his own son, and having trying to get to sleep, and his son's always asking all these different kind of questions, and he doesn't always have the answers. And as the title translates as each secret. So sometimes just giving sort of poetic answers to the questions that have been asked, even though because probably all ask those questions about life and meaning, and there is sometimes no answer, or it's hard to explain the answer. So again, when you put it all together, the lyrics and the song, yeah, a really, really good one. One of my favorites on the album.
Okay, next up we had Papu. So this was much more rappy than the previous. This seems to be quite a common theme, where you have like a kind of more kind of singy kind of song, and then it's followed by a kind of more rappy sort of track. I really like the lyrics after translating, after doing the translating, but the song itself for me is a bit boring. So the lyrics were about his grandpa, who sort of gave him a lot of good advice. Just had a quite a nice sort of meaning, I suppose. So yeah, good lyrics, nice meaning. Just the song is a bit boring for me.
Yeah, it's a shame to say it's a boring song, but the fact is it was in some regards, again, compared, especially after you had that previous one, which felt being so again, you do have that theme now where it does seem to go more poppy, upbeat, to a bit more so demeaning. And as you said there, yeah, talking about his grandparents or grandpa, and I just put the lyric here, so it sums it up. At the time, I thought, what the shit you talking about? But I was stupid. I understand now what you meant. So kind of you don't appreciate things until maybe they've gone and stuff. So again, having this deep meaning, and it's not talking about raping prostitutes. So a bit of a difference.
Okay, next up we had Falig. So this was very sort of songy from the first second. It was straight into song rather than rap. I kind of like the mix of rap and song. Felt quite chilled. What I'd say, it was a little bit boring, but it was still okay. And the meaning was about, I wanted to have sex with a woman, but not in a kind of like vile way. Not like, it wasn't, it was more like a sort of, what's the word, like a kind of romantic song, making love. Yeah, that kind of making love kind of style, bit like sort of Marvin Gaye. I don't know. It was all right. This one.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I haven't actually written that much about it, and I think you pretty much summed up there. So the song itself didn't have much to it, but again, it was good to listen to. It was more intriguing about things. So I think you're right. So it's almost like in between. It's sort of that he wanted to make love for her, but it was also more about it wasn't much. I can't explain it either. It was also just to do it, just because they want to do it, and not have too much meaning, but at the same time trying to set the mood and be romantic about it. But it's just the fact of doing it. I really can't explain it all that well. I'm just maybe embarrassed to try and explain it better. But I say he's trying to be romantic, but at the same time, it's just sex as well. So it's not like, if that makes a bit more sense there. So again, really interesting, because I don't think the song's ever really talked about it as true as that, really, because the fact is a lot of time it is just get someone over, have sex, and that's all it is, but still being nice about it. So yeah, really interesting.
Next up we had Das Buch, which I think means the book.
So my first kind of impression of this was kind of like jungle instrumental feeling. I don't mean like jungle music, but I mean like it felt like kind of in a jungle or something. But that soon kind of passed, I guess. And it was like I thought the rapping kind of works with this one. I had like a kind of echoey voice effect at one point. There was like a choir effect, so there was quite a bit going on. And in terms of the meaning, I was kind of looking at this one for a while, trying to understand it. The kind of what I took from it maybe was that you can't be as good a rapper as me. The reason I said that, there's a line here that says, "Today you wear my shoe and it looks good on you, but you can't walk in it because you are missing my foot." So you're kind of like trying to be like me, but you can't be like me, kind of thing. So that's kind of the way I saw it. Be interested to see what you thought of that, Brett.
No, 100%. So I put two things down. One of them was that one. So was I saying you can't walk in my, you can have my shoes, but you can't walk because you're not me. Just found it. But I was trying to find a link about what this, the book, the title being the book being sort of about really. I was trying to look more deeper where it was about the book of his life and stuff as well. But back to the song itself, again, it has that really good tempo, as I've said for a lot of the others. Despite not really knowing what's going on, I could still sit and listen to it. It just felt good and a good mixture with the different sounds and stuff there. And then the other lyric that I took, which falls quite potent as well, is that if you have money, if you have the money, the world. If you don't have the money, the world is just a tiny globe. No, sorry, if you do, I'm the wrong way around. If you do have money, the world is a tiny globe, and it's almost saying, effectively, how much money you got, you can see anything you want. How you can do it. If you don't have much money, you could probably end up staying in the same area, and you just don't know what else is around there. So again, I found a really, really nice sort of interesting take on the lyrics. And I think he's talking about referring back to his success and that he's done well. He has got his money and he's enjoying it, and he can do anything he can, but also remembering that people who don't have that don't get to see half the things that he has.
Okay. So next up we had Shona Care. This had a very rappy start. Interesting rap voices and sounds, but just wasn't really my style. Kind of almost like a sort of more aggressive rap style. I don't mean aggressive in like the actual meaning itself, the lyrics, but just the way he was rapping. And I guess the meaning is kind of about he's made it, he's got money, that kind of thing.
So I've almost put it here as well. So the titles, I think, translated as already, but I didn't know what the KE bit sort of was there. So again, if anyone can give us more insight to that. So yeah, translated as already. And this felt for me like a real in the club kind of tune. Lee, you probably get, sort of being in the back room, dark, dingy, very sweaty, kind of feel to it. And the lyrics kind of sort of refer to that a little bit there as well, actually. Again, not my favourites on the album, and just because lyrics just stood out there. Fact of drugs, I have testicles like an elephant. What more can you say than that?
Okay, so that brings us on to the last song, Pyramiden. And I was kind of like blown away by the start here. Amazing start, like proper kind of like really nice sort of song going on. So yeah, sounds like a really nice song so far. So it turns out the singer was a guy called Johannes Erding, who I looked up on Wikipedia. He's a German singer. And just like a very nice end to the album. And for me, this is definitely a potential playlist song. Possibly the best song on the album, along with, I think there was one or two others on there. Jedis Gerheimnis was also good. Leben vor dem Tod wasn't bad. 2002 was okay. So there's a few decent ones on there, a few potential ones, but I think this probably has the highest potential to be on my playlist. So, and just a kind of nice meaning as well, I suppose, like believe in yourself, create something and be successful, I guess. So yeah, I really like this one.
I don't think I can say any more than that, Lee. That's exactly sort of everything about it. The start for me was great. It's like, oh, and then by the end, I was like, I wonder if Lee also, I can imagine Lee probably liking this one here as well. Felt good all the way through, and as you said about the lyrics, you know, yeah, actually make something of yourself and make it almost as everlasting as long as the pyramids. I also got rid about, you know, also about how advanced in technology we are with things, but yet have we done anything that's, it's almost like as good as like the pyramids always going to be, as long standing as the pyramids? Are we doing anything to actually make the world better going forward? But as the song itself, yeah, really good. I've put the artist, the script here, kind of had that sort of feel, especially when the script have done stuff with like with Will I Am or other kind of, I wouldn't say rappers, but other artists who do rap. Great way to end the album, and it would probably be my pick of my favorite song on the album.
Okay, so Brett, do you want to sum up for us?
I don't think I can say much more different than I've said already. As I said, yeah, I really enjoyed the album, as I said before, without even really knowing or understanding the lyrics, just to listen to it. I enjoyed it. I had a good feeling from it as well. Some really good sort of standout tracks from there. Had that sort of variation with the different artists and stuff. And out of all the sort of German rap albums that we listened to, it's definitely up on the higher end of the scale for me there. So yeah, really good recommendation. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I think I echo a lot of what you say there. It's definitely also very high up on the scale for me in terms of the German rap albums we listened to. I mean, I suppose it was a bit of a mixed album. There were some songs that I wasn't so keen on, but there were some songs that I did really like as well. And just in general, you know, even the ones I didn't like as much, they were still actually all right, I suppose. And the kind of, I like the fact the lyrics on this album were, you know, were quite nice in a way. They weren't so, well, there wasn't like all swearing and just sort of, you know, a lot of the usual stuff you get with rap albums. So I really appreciate that. And yeah, it was, I suppose, on the whole, it was more of a kind of, had that, well, lots of pop elements going on as well as the rap. So yeah, this definitely worked for me on the whole. So I'm glad we had the chance to review it. So yeah, again, thank you for requesting it. So guys, keep the requests coming in, particularly for these album reviews, because we're getting a lot of requests for the reaction videos we do, but we need some more requests for the actual album reviews themselves. I can't remember if I mentioned this at the beginning of the video, which we did like the previous week. Apologies if I've already mentioned it. If I haven't, great. So guys, we're having a Q&A once we get to 100 subscribers. We're currently on 61 at the time of filming this. Hopefully by the time you're watching this, we're going to be at a lot more than 61. So yeah, if you have got a question for us, then let us know in the comment section below. You can write it, you know, next to your album request as well. So that's all from us, and we'll see you on Wednesday for the next reaction video, and then again on the following Sunday for the next album review. So thanks for watching and goodbye. Tschüss.